stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Criminality, or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. I have missed my Delphi folk. Hi, everybody. Delphi. There are quite a few things that I want to talk about. Now, the question is, will I have time to cover them all? I don't know. So Shenanigans may have to take part, may have to take a part 2. We may have to do a couple Shenanigans lives. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I hope you guys have all been well. And if you guys have been hanging out with me for Karen Reed, me and Sleuthy, we've been doing the Karen Reed trial during the day. So we were live all day today, and now I'm back tonight to cover some Delphi stuff. Anyway, let's go over the agenda. Gosh. Okay, so as you guys, anybody who follows Delphi knows that there has been this little trickle of exhibits that have been coming out. We were told that it was going to be by request, first come, first serve. You were going to get your thumb, you paid $25 for your thumb drive, and you would get the exhibits as long as you requested them by exhibit number. We know that All Eyes did a great job of putting together a list of every exhibit number that we could possibly find on the internet based on the people who were in the courtroom. So we have that to kind of fall back on, but the exhibits have been coming out in these little trickles. So first, we talked about, was that last week? I don't even know when the hell it was. We got the 2 interrogation videos of Richard Allen that Tom Webster had got. He said he requested 4 different items and had gotten all 4 of his items. He also had posted that he had requested, and I may be on the wrong date, I want to say he requested March 17th and was told that the thumb drive was mailed on March 27th. My date might be wrong, but it's right in that general area. And then he received his when Jody got back from vacation on April 7th is when he got it in the mail. Then we have Barbara McDonald from Court TV and from the Down the Hill podcast, who also requested, we don't know what date she requested. She said she requested like 140 some items, and she's only gotten bits and pieces of hers. And then yesterday we get a video from Susan Hendricks, who is, what do you call her? I used to call her a journalist. I don't call her that anymore. Susan Hendricks. We'll just go with that. So she put out a video yesterday stating that she had gotten some new exhibits as well. So she'd gotten just a trickle of whatever exhibits. Now it's interesting because there's another channel, a smaller Delphi channel that I'm not overly fond of, so I don't really care to talk about that. But that person put out a video with exhibits saying thank you to Susan Hendricks, but they were exhibits that weren't in Susan Hendricks' video. So I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, okay, make this make sense. There's like a little gnat thingy flying around. So I know that you guys, as like the major Delphi case followers, you guys have probably seen all of those things, which is fine. I'm going to talk about some of it. We're going to we'll go through just some of the things that I think are important. We'll talk about some of the things that you guys think are important from what has come out so far. It's, it's lackluster in my opinion, but it is what it is. It's coming out literally, like I titled this live. It's like a drip drop. Like it's just, trickling out very, very You guys are funny. Very, very slowly. People aren't getting what they requested. It is not coming on a first come, first serve basis. I don't know the answer to why. I mean, I can imagine the answer to why. You know, we have a request in that was put in long before some of the people that are getting theirs, and it has not been fulfilled as of this date. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't have a good answer for you. My chair's squeaking. Let's see. I think that channel bargained with Susan to edit her video for some of the exhibits. Yeah, I don't know. That's just weird to me too. That channel isn't that. I agree. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about when it comes to watching both. Oh, is she still live? I thought she was almost done. I thought that they were getting off. I'm sorry. I didn't know she was still live. But anyway, I apologize. When I'm done, I'll go back and watch what Luke had to say on Hella's channel. What were they saying? So there's a couple things with the exhibit stuff that I want to talk about. But I'm going to let you guys know that that's going to be the beginning part of the live. So it's going to be very common of, I didn't know Hella was still live. I thought she was done. I thought that her and Luke were talking about ending it, but I don't know. Anyway. So then there's some other things that I want to talk about. So Delphi, which is absolutely to be expected, that the trial, concluded, he was convicted, and there are channels that are on YouTube and were created based on the Delphi case, and those channels are not going to cover anything else. They won't cover anything else because well, one, maybe they don't want to be invested in it. Two, it's not good. This channel's not known for covering Karen Reed. So I did a live today. It's going to end up with like 1,000 views. You think 1,000 views is going to pay me like $2, especially with like no super chats or anything like that. So the drama is going to sell, whether you like it or not. It's just going to sell. And so it's expected that when a case concludes that is already contentious, and then it concludes with so many unanswered questions, that people are going to continue the drama, specifically channels that don't cover anything else, because there's not enough in Delphi to cover on a daily basis for 4 hours a day to bring in super chats and pay your bills. It's just not going to work. And if you guys know anything about YouTube, but it doesn't, it's not a get rich like quick kind of thing. It just doesn't work that way. You build your base, and those people built their base off of, people who are interested in the Delphi case. So we have, the two camps of people that, this group of people thinks that Richard Allen is absolutely guilty, and anybody who questions that is just a moron. And then you have the people who are like, I don't know how those morons over there don't see that Richard Allen didn't do this, and that there's absolute corruption and incompetence within the Indiana State Police, and Carroll County, and Delphi. I mean, just, to name a few. So they're going to be, those two camps are always going to fight. They're never, that's never going to stop. I've done my best to try to make it so anybody, no matter what your opinion is of any case, is welcome on the channel, as long as you're not an asshole. You guys know my number one rule: don't be an asshole. That's really all I care about. And just don't come in here and troll, no matter what your opinion is. Don't be like, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's innocent, he's innocent, he's innocent. And I don't care what case it is. Just don't fucking do that, because it's annoying. And if you have time to do that, then you're probably not the person who actually wants to contribute to any type of conversation that's going to lead to anything other than idiocy. So I don't do that. But like I said, I don't care what your opinion is on the case. I just care how you treat me and how you treat the people in the chat. That's really the most important thing to me. And if you have a point that you want to make it. Just back it up with something. Just something that actually I can go look at and go, okay, I can see where you're coming from with this. That's the most important thing. There are channels that are pro-guilty that I get along with. There are channels that are pro-guilty that absolutely hate me. Because my opinion on the case is what it is. There are channels that are Richard Allen is innocent, and those people don't like me. And then there's channels that are, pro-innocent that love me. it doesn't matter, because ultimately at the end of the day, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk about whatever case I want to talk about, and I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say, and people are either going to like it or they're not going to like it. And then the next case I cover, you're going to come back and you may like it and you may not like it. If you just don't like me, then that's good. We're probably not going to end up being friends regardless, because you don't like me. There's people out there I just don't like, and I don't want anything to do with them. And some of those people have really, really shown their faces in the Delphi case, and I just don't want anything to do with them. And there's a whole fucking list of them. So that said, we're going to talk about those people. So the first part, we're going to be talking more Delphi, actual Delphi information. And the next part of this, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the bullshit and the shenanigans of what goes on, and what has happened to me personally that I have not shared publicly yet. So should I leave? Hell no, you should not leave. I like you. I like you too. I like you too. The BGOG, the BGOG. So some people don't like that part, but I'm going to talk about it because it's something that's happening to me personally, and it's something that I think that people should be aware of. So like I said, I'm going to try to fit all this into one Delphi Live, because I am covering another case, and I don't always have time to follow every single thing that happens in the Delphi realm, especially when it doesn't come to the actual case and just comes to the bullshit that is on the social medias. So I may not have all the info, but I can tell you my opinion on what I do have. So there we go. Let me say hi to you guys real quick, and we're going to get started. We're going to start talking about the exhibits first. So anybody who's here that's like hardcore, I don't want to deal with bullshit drama, we're going to get all the good stuff out of the way. And then anybody who's like, hell yeah, I want to deal with all the bullshit drama and listen to what happened to T, then you guys stick around, because we're going to get to it. So what's up, Snappy Dragon? You and Sleuthy are my favorite YouTubers. I don't even know if Sleuthy would consider herself a YouTuber. That's an interesting question, Sleuthy. What say you in the matter? What say you? Hey, don't dox me. I saw your comment at the beginning of the live. I was trying to find that channel, Terra Full Insights, and I could not find it. If you do want to email it to me, my email is criminality187@gmail, and I'd be happy to take a look at it. I'm not familiar with the channel, and I can't get it to come up on a YouTube search. So FYI, don't dox me. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't live here. I live on Twitter. Yeah. So are you a tweeter or Twitterer? What would you call? Are you an Xer? Like, what is that? Hi, Hillary. You're the only channel I'm a member of. Aw. That makes me realize I really got to do more stuff for the members. Hi, Travis. When a channel treats a trial like it's a WWF wrestling, it's not a good thing. I caught a little read on here, doing a great job. I love things like, hey, Sleuthy, you think new prosecutors, hold on, where'd you go, are more effective? Yeah, I mean, trying to figure it out. Just you're a silly goose. What's up, Grim Reaper? What's up, Grendel? What's up, Brian Lim? I think that the PC decision should be soon. I forget the date the decision is due. That was to Indiana Girl. I don't know what the question was. Oh, the fucking thing is going to bug me. What's up, Nunya? Can I have the bullshit without the drama? Well, you're going to get the bullshit, but I don't know if it's going to bring you drama. That's part of the issue, is talking about the bullshit kind of brings the drama, because everybody's like aligned in these little camps, and it's like, once you go outside of that, it's like you're like mortal enemy number one. It's like, I'm a 45-year-old mom who went to college to get a criminal justice degree and minor in forensic, and want to talk to people about it. Like, it's really not like, it's not that serious. Like, if you want to fight me, like, my address is probably on the internet somewhere. Just let me know, and my husband will take care of it. Other than that, like, I don't have, what are you going to do? Like, that's just dumb. I'm not going to go around fighting with everybody. So what's up, Thomas? Hi, Heather. What's up from the 3021? I can't even say the numbers anywhere. 3021. Hi, Dirty Diana. Hi, Chancey. Snappy, I think I said hi to you. Yeah, I did say hi. Hi, Jamie. Austin. Bear Jew's in here somewhere. I saw him up here somewhere. What's up, Big JD? I always want to say Big J Dick. Oh no, who do we fight? Who do we need to fight? I don't want to fight. I don't want you to fight anybody. I'm just going to fill you in on what's going on and why Delphi becomes bullshit because people are in it for the dollar instead of actually caring about justice. And that is not everybody. That is a handful of people, and they make it really bad for the other people who actually give a shit about the cause. You know, whether their cause is to show that, you know, all this evidence that proves Richard Allen is guilty, or whether it's to show, hey, fucking Carroll County, you guys suck ass. What's up, grilled cheese? Hi, Teresa. I think you're biased, Teresa, because we share the same name. So I think that's kind of, you have to, right? So I love you, Teresa. You are great. Your personality is awesome. And anybody who thinks otherwise, well, those are the others. Yeah, they're the others. They stay over there. Hi, Laura. Brian, thank you so much. This is late, but thank you for your coverage on Todd Mullis and making a serious subject fun. That one's tough, and we still don't have anything on that. That's probably what you were answering. So everything was due to that judge on the 8th. And as I was doing research, it seems like that judge has like an indefinite amount of time to be able to make a decision on Todd Mullis on whether he gets a new trial. And I think that's fucking crazy. But she did say to have everything to her on the 8th and that a decision would be done quickly afterward, but nobody ever clarified what her version of quickly actually is. So, and Andy, hell no, you don't go anywhere. You stay right here. Law Junkie, I tried to get that guy to look at the videos because he's from UK and knows nothing and does a real psychologist analysis. Hybrid, what's up? Let's see, Hillary, Thomas, I said hi to you, Chance. There's other Heather. Carrie said, what did I miss? What was released? Carrie, where you been, girl? Where you been? So why haven't folks just released all the Delphi crap yet, right? That's the question of the fucking hour. Yeah, and you should be. You should be able to watch wherever the hell you want to. Go watch whatever the fuck you want. Enjoy your life. You're a fucking grown-up. If I'm telling you can or can't go over here and watch or listen to whatever, like, I'm not the boss of you. You do you, girl. Are we in trouble? No, absolutely not. Hey, Nico, are only pro-prosecution channels getting exhibits? So it's interesting because I don't know if I would consider Barb McDonald a pro-prosecution person. I don't know if I necessarily consider her pro-defense. It's like more like she was pro-Ron Logan did it, so I guess she'd be more pro-defense. But she did get some, but it was probably requested on behalf of Court TV. And so I just don't know. But it does seem that the first ones that dripped out are more on the those closer connected to the case or have been like, how do I want to say that? You know, those that were at trial and lean more towards the prosecution. That makes sense. But as of right now, nobody's really getting anything. So I don't even know if that's it. There's like nothing coming out. There's like little by little bits by little bits. Okay. Yeah, we're still waiting on the stuff. I still do not have the transcripts, the rest of the transcripts from the July 30th, July 31st, and August 1st 3-day hearing. I still don't have the rest of the transcripts for that. So she did say that she was going to be working on those because she knew that the appellate attorneys were going to want it. So speaking of Jody, we did find out that the court did approve for her to have an extension on the trial transcripts until June 8th, June 9th, beginning of June, somewhere in the beginning of June, which is not uncommon. Trial exhibit, or trial transcripts, they take a while. And, she's got like 100 days of vacation that she has to take. So you can't fault her for going having like a Mai Tai. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. I've been pouring myself out to a fortune fabric right now. That's fucking hilarious. Hey, Bushi. So, here's the thing is, you guys, I talked about this on one of the last ones, like Hannah Shakespeare, who had created a documentary that never got published by any network, and she had given it to a YouTube channel to air it years after she had actually recorded it. She is currently working on another one of those types of documentaries that I don't know personally if it has been funded already or if it's in the works and being sold to a network. I don't have the answer for that, but I do know that she has been in Indiana since trial working on a new documentary. And I know that she requested, well, she maybe not herself, but she does have people there working. She does, absolutely. Working on getting these interviews. And I know that she was one of the early requests for exhibits. And I was told that she would have been receiving hers right around the same time that Tom was getting his. So Twist Media. That's her media. That's her media company, or her request for the exhibits. Okay. He's not going anywhere regarding the extension. It's just not uncommon. And they're not really going to be working too much on the appeal until they get the transcript, so they won't let her go too long. Okay. Yeah, I have an early day tomorrow too. All right. So first things first. I thought Twist Media was Tom. That should be Hannah. That doesn't mean that Tom knows Hannah. So me too, Carla. I wish you could. How do they choose who gets what first? That's a great question. How was that chosen? How was that chosen? Okay. So you guys have probably already watched this all the way through. This was newly released evidence where Barb McDonald goes on court TV after she gets some of the exhibits that she requested. And Bob ends up on here too. But there's a part that I want to show you guys and I want to talk to you guys about because I think this is a general issue that the public has. I have it, Bear Jew. I have the whole thing. So it's not lost in the universe. It's still accessible. But so he has a person on this episode who is doing like a body language, actual language, like speaking, like what his interpretation of what he thinks the confessions are. And I think this is a general issue that we're seeing across the board for these body language specialists. Like there was one that I actually had promoted on Twitter that I thought the guy did a really great job. Now there's another one who I don't really watch, but somebody had sent it to me and said that, so I watched it and he said that, he really thought that he could tell that Richard Allen was like full of shit. So it's an interesting, catch, because these guys are watching the same words come out of this person's mouth and they're watching the same body language, but their interpretations are absolutely completely different. But, body language and speech speech patterns, those aren't supposed to be, those aren't the type of experts that you can put in like a courtroom and put on as a witness. So there's a reason for that. So we have to be cognizant of that too. But this guy is the epitome of why I struggle with listening to just out of pocket people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Because he'll change his tune. But like I said, you guys have probably watched this, but I'm going to play this and you guys will see.
Which brings us to the next question in our investigation.
I'm going to
denials as well. Which is the denial or confession?
Because that's how I watch my
shit. Barbara McDonald and Dr. Mike.
Can you guys hear it okay?
All right, Barbara, give us some context surrounding these confessions, these jailhouse call confessions, especially this first one.
Yeah, so that happened on
Right, Eric.
May the
I
10th
agree.
of 2023, after he had been in custody for nearly 6 months. And this was about a month after he had been diagnosed as being psychotic and had received his first involuntary injection of an antipsychotic medication about 3 weeks prior to this phone call being made. The day after this phone call was made, in the prison logs, they reported him as being paranoid and depressed and hopeless. And his condition had not improved from that first Haldol injection that he received of that medication. He received another one about a week
100%
after this
Diana.
phone call. And I think, Vinny, you have another clip we're going to play, and that phone call also happened on the same day. It was a separate call, but that's also on May 10th of 2023.
Okay, Dr. Mike McCutcheon, let's play that second one, and then I want to hear from you sort of an analysis of the denials versus these confessions. Let's listen.
Honey,
Yes.
because I may have to spend the rest of my life here, or
Stop talking about it. That's not true.
Crap.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Mike McCutcheon, what are your thoughts here? The denial versus the confession.
So I'll start with the sentence the phrase that I used in the previous segment. Liars want to convince, truth tellers want to convey. And this one, he's not trying to convince her. He's not coming up with all these crazy ideas and saying, you know me, you know. He just says very straightforward, I'm conveying my message. I did this. And in the phone calls to his wife, he's very straightforward. He says, I need you to know I did this. In other phone calls, or I don't know if it's in the same phone call, or the first to the second, but he's very straightforward. He says, I need you to know I did this. I hope you still love me. I did this. He's very straightforward. He's conveying what he wants. He's not trying to convince her. He's not coming up with all these scenarios and you know me better than this and that. It's just straightforward. So to me, this is not a false confession. We know that false confessions do happen. Usually it's because of sleep deprivation or poor interview techniques.
You guys hear this? False confessions are due to sleep deprivation
Or isolation. During an interview, a 12-hour interview or something like that. This isn't the case here.
You see, he's just taking it at face value, which a lot of people do.
So I think his confession to me is very straightforward.
And
He thinks that Richard Allen says straightforward to his wife, I did it, and she says, no, you didn't. And he's like, he's like, well, why would I say I did it if I didn't do it? Like I did it, and I'm telling you I did it. And she's like, you didn't, like they're breaking you. So Barb does come back here. And I thought this was, Barb isn't normally very confrontational when it comes to these types of shows. So I thought this was quite interesting. I have not watched Bob's show from last night. I have heard a ton about it, but I haven't got to watch it yet. So I'll try my best to fit that into my life.
anything regarding in his denial, he's constantly putting his hands out and his palms up. Is that a tell in any way as he's doing that during his denial?
He doesn't answer this question, by the way.
Well, the hands do two things. If our hands are like this is a safe thing. This is like, whoa, hey, I'm here to help. If the hands point down, that's more of a power move. So it's something that we're like, look, I didn't do this. And so you put your hands forward to show dominance. That's kind of like the steeple. And you say, hey, no, look, I didn't do that. This is, oh, hey, I'm here to help. And so we'll see that a couple of times where using his hands, he's trying to be like, hey, I'm just here. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. He's trying to show that he is, I'll say, not dangerous in that situation. But it's his demeanor in the first and the second one are dramatically different. They're polar opposite.
So Barbara, give us an idea of how many times there were confessions from Alan in these phone calls?
I forget the exact number they gave, but they said that there were dozens. It was something like 60 or more phone calls contained confessions. And that was out of about 750 phone calls that the detective had listened to throughout Richard Allen's incarceration leading up to his trial. So not all of his calls contained that information. There were about 7 of them that were played in court. And not all the calls were to his wife. Some were to his mother.
Let me ask you, Dr. Mike, do you trust a confession
There you go.
more or less from someone who's incarcerated?
That's a good question. It would depend on the circumstances of the incarceration. I would trust it more because in the courts look at when you're incarcerated, that is your environment. So it's not like when you're being isolated in an interview room and you've been alone for 3 or 4 hours, you're deprived of food or you're deprived of sleep, or you have like that gentleman, hammering at him over and over, trying to convince him, or being shown false evidence. Like we know that those things could lead to a false confession. And he's in his own environment. He's initiating the contact. He's actually confessing to it when.
What about Richard Allen being incarcerated and making these calls tells any rational person that he is in his own environment? Where does that even come from? Where does that even come from?
And his wife is saying, no, you didn't. And he's saying, yes, I did. You know that? No. Why are you saying that? Because I did it. That's very, very, very different than if it were something that were coerced. So I would take that confession as his word on that. I don't have an issue with that.
There you go. So he just takes his confession at his word and just says, yep, I don't have any issues with that. All is well in the world. And I believe his confession because he's in his own, he's in his own special place. So he's okay to say and be free. And then Barb's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking say something about this. Let's just talk about it.
Oh, go ahead, Barbara.
Jenny, if I may, I mean, he was in solitary confinement. He was in one of 4 cells in the prison that he was in for 13 months. No prisoner had ever been held in that cell for that long before. Previously, it had been 10 days to 2 weeks. He was there 13 months. Lights on 24/7, camera on him 24/7, all the time. And he had suicide companions who started out as other inmates and then became other prison workers who sat at the door of his cell all the time and literally wrote down on a piece of paper everything he said and did that entire time. And that all got reported back. So that's how he was living when those calls made. And he had already been living that way for almost 6 months by the time these calls happened.
All right.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah, that is significant.
He says it right there. Oh, okay. Well, that is significant. Unfortunately, for anybody who's following it that has questions, this guy isn't on anymore after this. This is his last segment. So he has no chance to change anything that he just said based on, oh, well, shit, like that is significant. Like if I had known that, I might have something different to say, because everything he said leading up to it, he said, there are false confessions, the isolation and, lack of food. And so, this whole list of things that ends up being exactly what's happening to Richard Allen. And he's like, okay. So it's almost like context matters. So the reason I showed this, and I know that, like I said, I heard a lot of people were not very happy with this episode, which I get. But for me, if you listen to what he's actually saying outside of his lack of knowledge about the actual case, he's telling you everything that happened to Richard Allen is exactly what creates false confessions. So I don't know. You can take it how you want to. The other part of this that I wanted to talk about and to see if you guys could help me with is that a little bit later, Bob comes on. Bab. comes on, and they are showing this video. This video was an exhibit at trial that has not been released. It was not on the Court TV website where she put all the other videos. If it is, somebody please tell me.
And when we take a look at that, can you explain to us what we're looking at here and then put it in reference to where the children were found?
Yeah, so this is a video that the state introduced showing the route that they believe Richard Allen would have taken from where his car was parked across the Freedom Bridge, along the trails, and to this is the improvements. This is what the old Monon High Bridge area still looks like. The first part was the improvements. Now we're headed to the south side of that bridge, and that's where Abby and Libby were walking towards when they encountered this man. And this is the area where that video that Libby made was recorded, right in this area. Now, this video that you're looking at on your screen is from 2024, so 7 years after Libby's video was recorded. So if it looks different, this is the area looking down the hill. This was also shot in mid-February to give you an idea of the tree cover. And then you can see that access road down there, and that is Brad Weber's driveway. That is where they believe that when Weber was coming home from work in that white van, Richard Allen saw that van, got spooked, decided to change course. Instead of assaulting the girls on that same side of the creek, he instead marched them across the creek and killed them on the opposite side, which was Ron Logan's property.
Okay, so can anybody tell me who or where Court TV released that video to the public? Because supposedly all their exhibits that she got, they were put onto the Court TV website, and I cannot find it. So if you guys have found it, can somebody send it to me so I can put it in the file? So we can keep track of all of it. I'm glad she's finding her spine, but why now? I think, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could answer that. So we know that there is another exhibit out there floating around that has been released that the public doesn't have access to, even from the people who are receiving it. No, because she tells you that that's what was shown in court, or I think he says this is the video shown in court. Can you tell us what, can you tell us what we're looking at, or whatever, how he said it? I can go back so you can hear exactly what she said. But it's definitely the 2x drone video that was like, it was, what did they say? It only took them like 3 minutes to get across, and but the video was on 2x speed. I don't think it is. I think I'll go back just to verify, because I don't want to put out bad info. So we'll verify it together.
Leading there, I think we have some. The case from the beginning was at the trial. Barbara McDonald is here, and criminal defense attorney and host of the Defense Diaries podcast, and he was also in the courtroom for Richard Allen's trial. Bob Mata is with us. Barbara, looking at that scene there, I want to show some footage we have of the bridge area leading there. I think we have some video showing us, I think was used at the trial.
Yeah, they're used at the trial.
When we take a look at that, can you explain to us what we're looking at here and then put it in reference to where the children were found?
Yeah, so this is a video that the state introduced showing.
Can one of the mods take care of Diane Smith, who's being a bitch in chat, and I don't have fucking time for it?
The route that they believe Richard Allen would have taken from where his car was parked across the Freedom Bridge, along the trails, and to this is the improvements. This is what the old Monon High Bridge area still looks like. The first part was the improvements. Now we're headed to the south side of that bridge, and that's where Abby and Libby were walking towards when they encountered this man. And this is the area where that video that Libby made was recorded right in this area. Now, this video that you're looking at on your screen is from 2024, so 7 years after Libby's video was recorded. So if it looks different, this is the area looking down the hill. This.
Okay, so yeah, no, so he does say it was one of the ones that was used in court. So I don't give a shit who it is, and I don't give a shit who they're talking to. And be an asshole, you don't need to be here. It's one of the only rule I fucking got. You can't follow one rule. You shouldn't even be on YouTube. Okay, so if you guys come across that drone footage before I do, can somebody please just let me know so I can, like I said, I can add it to the file. And then let's talk about the file. So I put everything in a Google Drive for the public so you guys can have access to it. I labeled everything, and I'm going to share that link with you guys now in case you don't have it. Ba-dum-boom. Maybe I'll share it with you if it'll let me actually post the link in here. Hold please. Well, Barb has it. So if I don't know if any of you guys talk to Barb like on Twitter, I don't. So maybe we can get her to actually post that drone footage since it is an exhibit number with the exhibit number that it is. I'm gonna show you guys the other part too. Okay, nothing wants to fucking load now, of course. There we go. Okay, so this is just the Google Drive. Every time I'm getting access to any of the new exhibits, whether they come, you know, straight to me or they're going to other people, I'm putting them on here, putting them with the exhibit number that they are, you know, marked with, and that way we can keep track of it. Now, All Eyes also did one, and I'm going to go find hers really quick because hers is different and it works for, you know, better for some people the way that she has it set up. I like them both, so it is what it is. But I want to grab that for you guys too. I had it open, but then of course I closed everything. Well, maybe. I thought she had it on her community wall. There it is. So she has it. It's also, I mean, it's obviously, you know, anybody who knows All Eyes is she's extremely organized. And so she has it where it's set up like you can actually click straight on it. This is your exhibit number. This is what it is. This is the day of trial that it was admitted. Is All Eyes here by chance or no? Maybe I'll just message her because I think the next thing that probably needs to be on is if we can possibly add who was testifying at the time, because I was taking her list and cross-referencing it with my trial notes to see who was actually on the stand when these exhibits would have come in. So I wonder if we can add that to this as well, because she likes to have all the info. So anyway, so here's hers, but I'm going to share that with you guys too. And it's just it literally just labels everything, you know, how it is and what we're missing. So if you guys want to see what we're missing, so like I said, it just depends on how you prefer to get your info. I use both. You're welcome to use both. What's up, Keith? So let me grab that link. So then here is hers. And if you're looking for hers, if you lose it, it is posted on her community wall, and I'm sure she'll continue to update it and keep going with the whole thing. So back to what we need to talk about. So let's talk about the newer stuff that came out yesterday. For one, there is, let's see. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. I still got to catch up on the Stearns hearing from today too. Watch what that piece of shit did. Joe Schmo. How you feeling about Valo Daybell? Fuck Stearns. Right. Hello. Well, Joe Schmo, before you're over LVD, are you planning on covering and going to the Brandon Boudreaux trial? I mean, I don't know. There's only so much Lori I can take, and I'm like at the max. I don't need to ban you if you just don't be an asshole. If you want to be an asshole, then you don't need to be here. And I don't really give a shit what your opinion of me is. You're welcome in the chat. Just don't be a dick, Andrew. That's really it. If you can't follow the simple rule, then you shouldn't be here to begin with. It's really pointless for you to even be commenting. If you can stay and be cordial, fucking have at it. Can't even watch Stearns. He's trying to look like an old, frail man who's harmless. That guy's fucking gross. So over Lori. Okay, so this is pictures coming from Bree Wilbur, and there was a whole little, and I think that they put it together. This is exhibit like 211, I think it is. But I think that these are all the different pages of that. So I thought this was interesting simply because she is showing that she actually was on, that they went through the whole bridge, which I guess maybe I missed that in the testimony, or just didn't really actually realize it, that this photo is from the south side of the bridge. Hey, Michael. These are from Bree's phone. Yes. These are the ones that she doesn't turn over until like 2022. Yeah, so south side being the same exact side where the girls, hear the down the hill. Yeah. So like I said, this is a screenshot from the lives from, or the videos from yesterday that released the exhibits. These are not directly from court, so we'll see what happens when we actually get the ones from court. It's like these were made for the video. So this is just a screenshot from there, but I think they're all exhibit 211 if I remember correctly. This is not a direct trial exhibit the way that it's put out to us. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know why they're edited to not show who they belong to or what account this is on. I thought that was quite interesting too, because the interesting thing about Bree's timing of when she's actually giving these over is years after this actually happens, and it's when she's being questioned more about the Keegan Klein stuff. So are these like not posted on her, like on Bree's account? I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing. I have no answer for it, just something to think about. I don't know why. That's why I said that this is not, this is not the way that it was brought in. Because like I showed you, that's why I showed you guys the other one. That's why I showed you guys this. Like, they're like this. Somebody made that. That's not how it was presented. So here's like the one at 12:43. You see what I'm saying? So where'd the other one go? Shit, now I lost the other one. So this one right here is saying it's at 1:26 here, and at 12:43. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because like I said, that's how they showed you how they were actually scanned in and sent. But I don't have them fully done because I can't figure out if they're all from the same exhibit number, because the people who are putting them out aren't actually telling the world what they are. At 12:43, she was on the south side of the bridge. 12:43, she's on the south side of the bridge. We know that because the picture of the bridge is from the south side, not the north side. Keegan Klein was also a fan of Canva. Hey, Greg, greetings from Scotland. I can't do my Scotland. I can't do a Scotland one all of a sudden. I sound like I'm from London. You sound like you're from. It's probably because I was listening to Luke. Well, let's compare it then. Let's take a look at the south side of the bridge versus the north side of the bridge and see if we can confirm or deny what I said. Hello, how are you, mate? All right, hold please. Let me pull these up. Bridge. We'll confirm if I'm correct or not. And if I'm not, then I'm not. And if I am, then I am. Hello from Scotland. Nope, can't do it. Can't get it to work. You needed, like, there's got to be some detox period after listening to Luke. All right, let's see. Let's find a good one of both sides. Of both sides. Okay. That's not the greatest one. I'm waiting for them to load on my computer. There's just too many fucking pictures, so it just takes forever. Where is the one that I'm thinking of that shows it looks just like that? I guess we could technically just watch the video, but all eyes. Would be cool to just like have a transcript where we could just like check, but that's not a good one either. If you guys have a good one of the beginning of the bridge or the end of the bridge that you think would work, just send it to me really quick, and then that way I don't have to worry about trying to find it on my computer, because it's like I'm looking at little tiny like thumbnails. You know what I mean? Trying to find the right ones. You know what? I bet if I go to this folder, let me see. Nope, that's not a good one. Never mind, I lied. Lies. That's what I'm saying. We could use Libby's video, but it would only be for the end. I was just hoping that I had one like handy, but I'm not doing myself any freaking favors, so let's stop doing that now. And that's not going to work either. On August 13th of 2008.
You called.
See, this is the path that we go down.
No, I don't think it's gonna.
There's
Not gonna
no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the there, so we have to go down here.
It would be like. No, I have fucking pictures. I just don't. Why I can't ever find anything when I want to find it. It's just like the worst thing about me, I swear. Brie is not a species of bread, it's a species of cheese. Like, I try to make myself so organized, and then I'm like, I put them all in this one folder, and then I can't ever find what the fuck I want. Like, I piss myself off. Like, I can picture the picture in my mind of what I want, and I want to show you, and I cannot find it. Oh. Nope, that's not it. Lowercase Steve? That's fine. I'm not going to overly worry about it, because otherwise I'm just going to waste time that I don't have to waste. If you guys have one and you send it to me, let me know. So this photo right here is supposedly the data from this photo. Why it's over here, and whoever put this little thing together is wrong. Yeah, so according to her testimony, when she posted that pic of the south end of the bridge at 12:43, Libby messaged her on Snapchat and asked if she was still on there. Yeah, so 12:43 south side of the bridge. So, but for all the people who are like, how did Richard Allen walk and never saw, like, these girls never saw him because they were there this whole time? Well, we know they were on the south side of the fucking bridge. No, not necessarily would they see him. We also know that they went down the other trails. So I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing to be like, hey, wait a minute. You know, why wouldn't he see him? Well, that is possibly why he didn't see them, or they didn't see him. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Let's talk about this silly. Let's talk about this silly unspent round found in the keepsake box. I'll go back and confirm it, and I'll put it somewhere, or I'll talk about it the next time we go live. I'll go back and find the fucking photo that I'm looking for, that I'll find right away when I'm not live with you guys. So here's the special memory box. Oh, I says, I put those girls on the south end for my reenactments, and some people threw a hissy fit about it. Well, they were on the south end. That's where the fucking picture's from. In my opinion, allegedly. Well, yeah, they don't want it to be that way, because then there'd be a reason that they don't cross paths with Richard Allen. It's called a shit collector. It takes all of just the random stuff. So this is exhibit 269. We don't have exhibit 270, which is also another just odd thing, but we get 271. So we're not even going by exhibits, because they released 269 and 271 and 272. We don't get 273, but we get 274. Why? I have no idea. So here it is, opened up. And then over here in the corner, just nicely dropped in there, right off on the side, is this unspent round that it seems that Kathy nor Rick knew anything about. Just nicely placed right in there on the side. Yeah. There. Here's your close-up of it. So, one of these things is not like the other. Can anybody tell me the difference in those two fucking photos of this round? One of these things is not like the other. How does that make sense? They put the fucking round back in the box, even if they even ever got it out of the box. So they take it and then they put it back. Yeah, so it's just here, and it's all just leaning up against the side. And this one, it's all moved. So this, look, you see the yellowish creamy band right here? It's over here. Where's that photo? Where'd that photo go? Oh, there's a photo. Where's the photo? Oh, no photo. Where's that photo? Oh, no photo. That be a plant. What the hell is this? Do you? You have a spent round in your jewelry box. What is it from? Like, what is it from? I'd love to know. Is it like from a fancy trip that you took, like a hunting trip, and you were like, I'm gonna save this. It was my first hunt, or is it like the first time I went to the shooting range, or is it just a random ass like spent round? I'm just saying. I'm just saying that they didn't take these photos and go back to back, exhibit 271, exhibit 272. So now I'm not a gun person, which I'm going to be very honest about, and I've told you guys this, I don't know for how long, even though when I try to learn stuff about guns and ammo, I'm not the best at it. So, but I want you guys to tell me, the ones of you in the chat that do know stuff about ammunition and guns, is this the same type of round? Because to the naked eye, it does not look like the same type of round. That versus that. That versus that. Is it? It is the same. Same. Okay. It just looks completely different because of the angle that the photo that is being photographed, but it is the same type of round. And I'm not talking about the grain, because obviously that's taking the shit to a whole nother level with Fiend. But it looks like a different type of round to me, just to the naked eye. But like I said, it could very well just be the way that it's photographed. It's a bonded hollow point, so when it's tilted, you cannot see the white bonding area that sticks out. Right, I can't see that. On this one, you want me to zoom in? Oh, Erica, your husband is saying no, not the same type of round. Okay, here, hold on. Let me go back. So I'm hearing both. Since these came out, I'm seeing both, that this is and this isn't. So I'm like, I don't have an opinion. To the naked eye, it doesn't look the same. But have you guys seen Sniper anywhere? I don't know what the hell happened to Sniper. I'm kind of worried about him. It's hard to tell for sure. Can you do a side by side? Yeah, I can do a side by side. Maybe. Maybe I can. Alec Baldwin would know, and he's taking questions in 30 minutes. I don't know, you guys are, it's the lighting and the detail that makes it look different. Yeah, see, this is crazy. Like even in chat, like people are, it's the same, it's not the same. The one thing for sure is it was put in this box and then photographed. See, Jonathan, they're different. This one has grooves in the top. That's what I see in the picture too, is like these grooves on the side that I don't see here. But is that just a lighting thing? Maybe, I don't know. As I said, to the naked eye, I think it looks very different, but if you zoom in, you can see the grooves. That becomes so pixelated, I can't see shit. Why is everything in Delphi captured with a fucking potato? Right? The other one has grooves too. It's because it's graining. The grooves are not as defined when the backdrop is the same color. Okay. If I zoom in anymore, I think it's going to start to look like a dirty picture that I'm trying to show you guys, and YouTube's probably going to ban me. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking something else, Nunya. Hi, Lacey. That be a plant. That be a plant. One has a straighter tip and the other one is curved. Yeah, that's what she said. Delphi is where technology goes to die. Always has been, always will be. They did all these bad picks on purpose. So, I don't know. See chat for pick of south end of the bridge. Thank you, Radar. I shall bring it up. Hold on, I just got an update about Todd Mullis. Let me see real quick what it is. For any of you guys that followed Todd Mullis with me, Todd's attorneys have asked for, they have filed a motion for leave, asking to be allowed to add exhibits to their final proposal. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 7 more exhibits that they're asking for a motion to leave where they would allow them to be able to file those. They just filed that yesterday. So that's interesting. Okay, now where was I going? I'm going to the Delphi chat. Thank you, Radar. Welcome back to live chats with us. Okay, let's pull this up. So some think same round, some think it's not the same round. I can my confirmation is only that it was put in there and photographed. That's one thing I think that can be easily proven by the photographs themselves. Yeah, so let me go back to this other one. And this one. Not a good one. It's not the right angle. Like when you're back here and you're looking at it, you can see the slope of it. But I think that we've confirmed now based on her testimony that at 12:43 she was, no, it would always be on the right side. The odds are on the odds are on the right, the evens are on the left. So the platform is going to look like it's on the same no matter what. We could always pull out the photos and go through the trees and stuff and see. We can figure it out that way. So we can match a tree. Yeah, I don't know if that one's not really going to quite work though. What's up, Court of Public Opinion? Most people keep a preferred type of ammo. Yeah, if you have a different one that's more at like at this angle. I have one that says like that it's at this angle. I just can't find it. The feds and Homeland Security love the Blazer rounds. Well, wasn't it the Winchester that actually like has like law enforcement on it, or is that both? You can't see anything in this photo. You know what? Let me just do a Cecil real quick, and I will see what it says. North side of Monon High. See, the difference is the south side has this like slope that it goes off the side. That's the biggest thing about it. This one might work. This is from their actual website from 2023. No, never mind. But you went back to your notes, Sleuthy, and in testimony, she says that the 1243 pick is from the south side of the bridge. There's a ton of pictures posted, but nobody wants to actually post what side they're from. So. I thought she says that. Yeah, don't dox me. I did a Cecil. I did a Cecil. I Googled it. All right. Once again, I'm going to have to come back to this. Is All Eyes still in here? There we go. There were big gaps in the ties at the north end that I don't see in Bree's pick. Gravel looks the same as Libby's video, but I'm kind of blind. It's really hard to tell, right? That's why I'm like, I want to figure out if that's the north side or the south side. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some other exhibits. Let's go back over here. I guess I'm going to have to do that later because I can't just I'll just spend my whole time trying to figure out where that fucking thing is. That's just going to bug me. I think it's the south too, but I want to confirm it. I don't want to, put out bad info. All right, what else came out yesterday? What else came out yesterday that was interesting? Oh, the jacket. Let's talk about the jacket. Hypercoscent. I think that her pick is too close. It's too close up. Let's talk about the jacket. This is the jacket that they put in that they put into evidence. Yeah, the picture of the jacket that was put into evidence, I should say. The jacket with the little white and orange tag on a pocket. In all the years, nobody said, "Hey, BG has a pocket with a little white and orange symbol on it." In all the years, that never happened. Check chat again. Coming. That's better, but still not quite right. Because you need it over to the right. I need the right side of the bridge. Yeah, I think this is the south side. I think that's the south side, but that's like the exact picture, Sleuthy. But it doesn't, they don't label. They don't want to fucking tell you which ones are what. BG jacket versus jacket that they tried to convince the jury is the Muddy Bloody jacket. Thoughts on this jacket? They ever say what the drawing all over it is? That's Sarah Carbaugh. This is Sarah Carbaugh's photo that was put into evidence when she was on the stand, where she is drawing on the picture of BG where she saw the mud and the blood. So all this is her going like, so there's like stuff up here, and then there's like stuff right here, and then there's like dot 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 dot. Like I was driving 40 miles an hour, and I saw that there was one spot, one spot, one spot, one spot, one spot, and some stuff over here too. So that this is muddy bloody. This is where he was all muddy and bloody. I don't, did she draw a banana? She's like, and he had a banana sticking out the right side of his head. I studied that jacket a lot, and when Gray Hughes zoomed in on it years ago, it had a diamond-shaped hems, like in Ron Logan's jacket, but the jacket may have been borrowed from him by a nephew or son. Interesting. I know a lot of people studied the jacket for a long time, finding what they believe to be police patches on it. But no, I never heard anybody ever say, hey, that's got a pocket on the front, and it's got like a little white and orange label. How does the jury take this seriously? I don't know. Oh, geez, DB. Good luck with that. Yeah, that is not it. But that is what they put into evidence, the photo of, to prove that Richard Allen was BG. And that, the absolute pro-guilters will still, to this day, fight tooth and nail and say he said he was wearing the same thing, even though we've now watched the videos of the interrogations where it absolutely shows he does not say that. Yeah, I think BG's is more of like a windbreaker type jacket as well. And he says, I'm sorry, but the audio is Jerry Holman, so is he either there if he faked that for some reason? I don't know. I could tell you, people are like, that's the same voice. That's Richard Allen's voice. That's Richard Allen's voice. I'm like, how the fuck can you even tell? Like, it sounds like Jerry Holman's voice. It sounds like Tove Lesenby's voice. It sounds like 50 other people's voices that we compared over the last 8 years. Like, it sounds like a lot of fucking people. And when the experts come out and say, you can't actually compare that voice because there's not enough to it, there's not enough words and syllables being used to actually compare the voice to anybody, we can't say it's anybody. So, but this is the jacket that they're saying he said he was wearing when he says he was there at the same time that the girls are killed. And then there's the back of the jacket. Snoozy says, I'm behind, so if this issue is put to rest, I apologize. It doesn't matter. We're going to go back and forth on the issues 50,000 times, so please share your opinions, whether you're behind or not. One round is an XTP, expanding tip projectile, and the other is an FMJ, a full metal jacket, aka target practice round. Well, shit, that would be interesting. Audio processing shenanigans are also quite underdiagnosed. It's all subjective. Yeah. Well, we hear that be a gun, you know, testimony in front of a freaking jury that says that be a gun. Where'd Veronica go? KA friend Rick received the blue jacket in 2019. True or not, I don't know. Defense didn't argue it. I think he actually says, like, in the, and I'd have to go back and listen to it again, but somebody with a better memory might remember. I'm almost positive he actually says, like, I don't think I had the blue one until 2019 or something along those lines. It's true. We're all experts. Full metal jacket. I have it in my closet right now, and I only wear it on the warmest day, or on the coldest days, because it's warm as fuck. I'll take a look, Radar. Thank you. The crime scene bullet is a Winchester. We have that too. So that one came out. Let me go back and I'll show that one. That is under, that is 278. And it is, this round is the one that came out as being the unspent round found at the scene. That is this one. That's the back of it. That's like looking down on it. See, I don't, see, DB, this is weird because, like, I guess maybe I actually have to go, like, look at the rounds themselves, because I don't see all those little ridges here either. Am I just fucking blind? I don't see all those little, like, indents. Or as Timmy would say, the furrows. Yeah, looking down on the tip, baby. So I'll go back and pull that one up. It does somewhat look like the one that's leaning off to the side that we know is put back in the box. I just don't, this one just doesn't look the same to me. Even if I'm looking down the tip. Don't make me bring out the toe. Only the tip. Why don't I see all these little ridges? It's just the way the photography is. There you go. Drink out the candy bar. You have to have a magic microscope to see the little indents per award-winning expert Melissa Oberg. The toe is so wrong, but it's so right. Nothing looks the same. They merge it as long as it's Rick's. Yeah, that's true. Because you can't see the white binding when you're not looking down the tip. The bonding is deep in there. Okay, I'm looking down the tip now. That's down the tip. You know, I've never been wrong before, so. You're talking about these little white spots in here? But I still don't understand how that makes me see grooves or furrows. I see white deep in the tip. Does the white ever come out of the tip? Asking for a friend. It's deeper in the round, so you can't see it from that angle. I'm about to be eaten by an octopus. Oh shit. All right, see, we end up back talking about the same thing because it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look the same to me. I feel that way every day. Okay, so where were we at? Okay, so next should we talk about the car? We're talking about the car. We've determined jacket, not the same jacket, right? So he was wearing the same thing and says he was wearing that, he was wearing the same thing. We've now determined that was a lie. He was there at the same time. We've now determined that was a lie. This unspent round in this mystery little box over here is just, I don't even know where to put that in my filing cabinet of bullshit, but we'll see. Okay, so let me see what else there is. Let's talk about the car. Let's do the car, because I think the car is funny. Because if you don't actually pay attention to math, if you don't care about math, you can make any car that is this shape fit into this car, and I should do it for you. Just so I can show you that any car that is this shape, I can make the exact same size of this car. That's a problem, because I don't know how big this car is. I don't know how big this car is, but I can find out how big the car is that Rick had, and then I could put cars that are the same size up against it. If nobody's doing that on these channels that are telling you 100% that this is Rick's car, make sure that they know how to do math. I'm just going to tell you that. It's the same bullshit where I can make Rick the same size as BG. I can also make Ron Logan the same size as BG. Because I can just change how big they are when I overlay them. It doesn't, you can't just say it is because it is. You have to actually have to know some math. Okay, so here is, God, man, the trolls are out tonight. Is that like a song? The trolls are out tonight. So here is the rims. This is the daylight rims where you can, the sunlight rims where you can see sunlight. So you can see through, you see in the photo that they're telling us that you can see sunlight through these. I can make the tip bigger, but the reality of the tip size is never going to change. The trolls are out tonight. Ooh, the trolls are out tonight. Ooh. People are so fucking weird. I know, it's so weird. It is what it is. Those are all the same people that think that's the same fucking jacket. and that Rick said he was wearing that jacket. Therefore, he must be BG. Yeah, here's your daylight room. So you can see, look in the photo. You guys can see the color behind the tires, behind the wheels. Therefore, look at there's white. Maybe that's the song I'm thinking of, Spicy. The freaks come out at night. It's not even a Friday. It's like a lowly little Wednesday. All the dancing and the glitter. Woo! I don't think it's the same jacket. No, it's definitely not the same jacket. It's not the same jacket. So now the next big thing is the car. So Rick Allen, in his interview, because here's the next major, this is why it's Rick. His car is on the Hoosier Harvester camera. Dude, who the fuck? Tell me, what? If they knew that this was Rick's car, I'm going to say this for the millionth time on my lives. If they knew that this was Rick's car, they would have gone to talk to Rick about what he was doing there. They did not know that this was Rick's car. They took Rick's car and made this his car. They did everything backwards. All of it. I can't help people who don't see that. If this was Rick's car, if that was Rick's voice, if that was Rick on the bridge, and it's just so obvious to anybody who has the brain cell that it's a Rick Allen, you tell me why ISP didn't arrest Rick Allen on February 15th of 2017. Because you're saying that they're fucking incompetent. It's obviously not obvious that it's Rick's car. It's not obvious that it's Rick on the bridge. It's not obvious that it's Rick's voice. Because they would have arrested fucking Rick. Years ago when they had all of this. Remember, Mullen, I think, goes out there to Hoosier Harvest Store. I'm almost positive. I think he's out there like the 14th or 15th, taking these screenshots of the screen instead of actually just getting the whole fucking video. He's actually out there taking pictures from his phone and saying, oh, let me just take pictures of all these cars. They don't know what fucking car that is. We have the dumb. We have the dumb. So, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this. Rick Allen, in his interview, tells them that he parked, that he drove through town and he parked. Let's pull up the map. Not where they say he parked. And then we're going to go, oh, let's talk about Doolin. Well, they admit that Doolin wrote bad information on that tip sheet that they proved was bad information. And they're like, oh, yeah, but that's okay. Like, that's not a big deal that one was bad. It's not a big deal that was bad info. The rest of it's got to be accurate, though. Sending something. Where the hell am I going? Over here. This is where I'm going. BH, that is a question I was going to get to because nobody ever talks about that. Let me see. Let me pull up my messenger real quick. Oh yeah. You see what I'm talking about? I think that looks right. And that is the south or the, you think that might be the south or the north? Okay. Let my stomach just growled. I'm reading something. I'll be back. Just let me read this real quick. Oh, I shall just be television. So he went to go see if there was any type of car. So Mullen testified that he went to the Hoosier Harvest Store on September or around September 21st of 2022 after they found the tip, after Kathy found the tip in her box. And he went there and he went to go look to see if he could see any cars that looked like Rick Allen's car. And then they were like, oh yeah, this looks like Rick Allen's car. And then he decided, let's go look at CVS and see what Rick Allen's car looks like. Who'd you hide? So Rick says that he came up through town. Let me make sure I'm in the right time. I am not. Bob said something about there being boulders there now. I don't know. Boulders there. I don't know where boulders are, though. I don't know what he was referring to. He said that he went out there and had Kathy Allen show him where they used to park. And he said there's boulders there now and you can't park there. But all right, let me close this off so it's not just dinging. I'm wondering if he's talking about over here. So let's go back in time. Let's go back to 2017. Because this is the little road. This is the little road that Rick is telling them that he would come from his house, which is right over here. He'd come through town. So here's Richard Allen's house. He'd come up, go through town. He'd come up and he'd take this little road and he talks about how the houses are on the sides. Like essentially you're going through a neighborhood and you get to the end and there's like this parking area where people would park their cars. So we talked about this little area right here where they end up building the monument. I don't know if that's what Bob was talking about with boulders or not. There's also coming up this way where you would come up, go in here, you'd turn right, and then you could park in here, in this area. There used to be a building prior to that. So if somebody says like, hey, there was an old building, we go back in time even further. This whole area used to be buildings. So parking by an old building that was torn down, or over here in this dirt area that now becomes the where the monument ends up being built. So we have this area and this area, and he says, I wouldn't even be going over there. I wouldn't even be driving over here. Okay, I'll look at it in a minute. I just don't want, because my Facebook will just ding, and then everybody's like, why the hell is everything dinging? Rick was initially cleared, but yet nobody can actually tell you who cleared him or why. You don't think they actually know that when the system would tell you exactly who put that in? They didn't put that tip in later. They didn't put that tip in later because we know what tip number he is, and he's one of the first ones. I'm gonna like oil my chair. Let me see what you guys. Somebody asked a question. What was the place before it was torn down? Oh, that old building that was there? You know what? I don't actually remember. Let me see. I don't know if it'll tell me. You'd have to probably look. We'd probably have to do a seesaw. But that's before the highway was in. So Doolin is the one who's saying old Farm Bureau building. We know for a fact, now that we've heard the interviews ourselves, that he's talking about that Richard Allen is talking about there being a farm entrance, like where there's a farm entrance right here where people would park. The area you pointed at before where the monument is, I think that now there is a parking lot, and he parked there before there was a parking lot. Okay, let's see. Shit, sorry. Over here. Right here. Now there's a monument. Let's go look. I don't think you can park here. I think you can only walk here. It's part of the trail system, which is what he says. It's like, hey, there's this bridge that nobody, like, you don't drive on it. People don't drive on it. It's just like a walking bridge. That is this bridge right here. Hold on, you guys. Sorry. So here's that walking bridge he's talking about. He's like, yeah, I would have parked over here. I would have parked over here somewhere. And then walked over on the trails. And then he talks about they did park over here, and there was a walkway that was next to the highway. One more. So at the CPS lot, here's this walkway that was next to the highway. Still not an old Farm Bureau building. And nor did he ever say that he parked at an old Farm Bureau building. They came out and said that Doolin just wrote that. Why? We don't know. We don't know why Doolin just wrote shit. All right, let me go back to the car. So he goes and he decides, all right, I'm gonna go to Hoosier Harvest Store in 2022 when they find the tip. He's not even bothering to go back in his old screenshots. He's going back to the Hoosier Harvest Store to see if he can find the car. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to CVS so I can take pictures of the car. So he does like a little drive-by if I can get my mouse to work. And so here's the next two that come out. So here's State's Exhibit 244 of Rick Allen's car being in the parking lot. He backed into this parking spot. Does anybody know where I'm going to go with that? He backed into this parking spot. He must be trying to hide his back license plate. Back in is guilty. You back in. If you're backed in somewhere, you're trying to hide your license plate. Oh, wait. Oh, it's an open field. Shucks. Maybe people just fucking back in because that's what they do. So he does this drive-by and he's like, oh my gosh, look. You can see sunlight through these rims. He's got daylight rims. But yet that's not captured in any of the photos. Oh, yeah, I can't see any. Maybe a little bit. I can see a little bit right there. A little bit right there. You backed it up once? I used to back it up a lot. I can't do that anymore. I'm too old. He backed it in and he has a blue jacket, everybody. He backed it in and he has a blue jacket. All right, what time is it? All right, I've got about an hour left. Is there any other exhibits that you guys want to talk about before I move on to the next part of this live? Is there anything else that came out that you guys are like, we need to talk about this before we move on? Not that we can't talk about it in the next live. The problem is I just don't know another nighttime live I can do for Delphi. So if there's an exhibit that you guys are like, Teresa, we have to talk about this before we move on. Ooh, all eyes. That's a problem. You can't do that. You can't just go back in your car in all willy-nilly, especially if you're wearing sweatpants. You're going to throw fucking people for a loop. Holman is going to be arresting everybody. Oh, his picture's on the trail. Let's talk about that. This is terrible, too, because this is State's Exhibit 275. Where he's catching a fish. Looks a little hunched over here, making him about 5'2". Backing into a parking spot is normal here. It's in driver's training and is in fact mandatory on job sites and company parking lots. Well, my son took the driver's test today and got his driver's license, and they made him back up. I'm just saying, he must be guilty of something. We can't even still see what they were working with because it's still bullshit. It's like, what is this? What is this show? If I'm super pro Richard Allen is guilty, what does this exhibit tell me? That Richard Allen had gone to the trails at one point in his life? That he did like to fish? So when he tells you he liked to fish and he would go fishing and like to look at fish, that this proved that he did? What is this proving to me as a juror? His wife liked to scrapbook and she actually wrote down their memories? What is this proving to me? Oh, that he owned jeans. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. What was the evidence before they arrested him? Literally, they arrested him based on this fucking tip that showed he was cleared. Like, that's where I'm at. Yeah, Brad Heath told Gray Hughes that Ellie didn't even know the color of the vehicle. Correct. Not to mention that he also said that he saw a vehicle parked down the street forever. And we also know, and that was the other thing I did want to talk about too, because I don't, like I said, I don't even know. I don't know what the point of this was. I'd have to go back and even look at my notes because I don't even understand. Was to show that he goes out to the trails. I think that's the only point of it. Like, here he is out on the trails, like every other person who was out there that day. What am I wanting to go back to? Shit, what did I want to show you? I wanted to go back to it real quick before I moved on. It proves that fish are real. Hold on, fuck, what was I going to go back to? Oh, the selfie of the girls in the car. We talked about that on one of the last streams when that came out, but we could touch on it. But I wanted to, there was something else I wanted to fucking do. Now I don't remember what it was. Son of a biscuit eating bulldog. Shit. Last I heard, Feral Cat Chronicles, yeah. I'm trying to remember what the hell I was going to go show you guys before I went on. No, they were kind of scrunched at the bottom a little bit, like jeans, BG's pants. They had some scrunching at the bottom. I'd have to go back and pull up that video. Yeah, what about the white car with paper plates? Nothing to see here. I don't know what I was going to go back and show you. I fucking lost it. I was kind of thinking that too. That one weird pic is like he's kind of hunched over. Fuck me, guys. Sorry. I don't remember what I was going to go back and show you. Oh, these cars. I think that's what we were talking about. That's what it was. How do we not know who all these vehicles belong to? There's a truck over here. There's a car here. There's an SUV over here. Nobody ever talked about any of these people. What's this truck? Oh yeah, Brad said he saw a vehicle. It would have been past these houses over in this direction. That was parked there all day. That be a van over there. Okay. All right. You want to touch on the selfie in the car. Selfie in the car needs to be flipped, number one, because she's obviously in the passenger seat. And so which means that Abby is behind the driver. Does that matter? Don't know. Did anybody ever figure out yet if this is the Bonneville or if this is the Mazda? Has anybody figured that shit out yet? Have I missed somebody figuring out if Becky was right or if Kelsey was right on what car she was driving? I mean, do we know from the interior pictures of Kelsey in her car where she's been in her car like on video with, I think, Susan Hendricks, if I remember correctly? Bonneville? Not Mazda. It is a Bonneville. I haven't even looked into it, so I have no opinion whatsoever. I just remember we were talking about it when we went over this picture before, and I don't know if anybody ever like solved that. I imagine if he was wearing a Tupac shirt. I think it was Sleuthy or All Eyes that said the Bonneville. Well, hi, Fiend. Becky testified it was a Bonneville. Kelsey testified she was driving a Mazda. BK said it was Kelsey who was driving a white Elantra. Just saying. Yana. Their disposition of singing with windows down is totally wrong. Yeah, it's very serious. I wish we know that there's 2 selfies that were taken in the car. I don't think that we can really read too much into it without seeing the other one. I really would like to see the other one because, like, my daughter takes all kinds of stupid pictures, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you taking that picture?" And it's just different faces. Like if there's the other picture and there's still something kind of wonky about it, that would be kind of weird that you take 2 of those back to back. But if the other picture, they're like sticking their tongues out or something, that might be a little different. You know what I mean? Like you could kind of get more of a feel about it. She's driving a Lexus. I'm surprised that we don't go with that. That's a Lexus backing up at 24 miles an hour. I felt like a quick photo that Abby didn't know was happening. That's why I said I think we need the other photo to kind of know if they were being goofy and just making faces into the camera. If there's 2 photos back to back with weird face, with like a straight face like that, then I'd probably be like, okay, I think we can read more into it. But I don't really have an opinion on just a straight face because, I don't know. Like I said, my daughter makes like serious faces or does stupid faces all the time. Abby's eyes just concern me. I think it was Ange who brought up a really good question. Did you guys ever figure out what this black thing is that's on Abby? Did that ever get solved? Did I miss that? What this is? Because this is her seatbelt. So what's this? Is it just a shadow? Did that ever get solved? Yeah, but that's the good photo that they put forward. That's true too. Why not? If there is a funny picture, why not submit? Oh, they submitted both of them, didn't they? It's probably Exhibit 2, and we just don't have it. That's her hood? This black thing? How's that her hood? I don't know. Ange was asking about it. I thought it was a really good question because I'm like, I actually have no idea what that is. Thank you, honey. F-work. My husband brought me dinner. We have the brand of hoodie, looked a lot, and maybe like a patch. If it's really the hoodie that I think it is from the photo on where she's, fishing, she has the fishing rod on her dad's Facebook. Maybe it could just be a shadow. I don't know. I just wondered if anybody ever came up with anything. Okay. All right. Did we cover all the ones that we needed to talk about? Is there any other evidence stuff? Because I don't want to, once I finish this part, I don't want to go back because I want to be able to, people can stop watching if they don't want to talk about the bullshit. Or they can start watching if they do, I guess. Purse strap, but she doesn't have any. It's like she didn't take anything with her. Carbon posted messages about Abby having a bag that day, so maybe the bag strap? Did they like drop it off at Abby's house then? Like where does that bag go? Because she doesn't have a bag with her. It might be the hood that's just messed up. Right. Can we compare Libby's shirt to the Creek shirt? Well, that's a good question. That is a good question. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. I don't know if we can actually tell. I mean, the photos of the actual shirt found in the water are part of the exhibits that we should be able to request. But that's not something that they have put out. Are they going to consider those quote unquote crime scene photos that are sealed? Is that what's going to happen there? Other than that, I can put out, I can look and see. The other one that like was quote unquote leaked, I just don't know if we can tell which one it is. That's the sock. Oh, this is the watermarked one. That's not going to do me any good anyway. I need the one that's not watermarked. She owned multiple tie-dye shirts. I just don't. I don't know if there's enough because she is photographed wearing multiple tie-dye shirts like this, and one of them has like fringe that comes. It's not even fringe. I mean, it is, but it's not like a lot of fringe. It's just like it's almost like strings. There's probably like 8 of them around the entire shirt. I probably have a photo of her in the other shirt too, and the front is different. The one that she has, the other tie-dye shirt, that's very similar in color, but it has a different logo on the front of it. I mean, geeked. I fucking love tie-dye, so I own a shit ton of tie-dye shirts. But this is the one that's in the water, and then that's the one that's she's wearing in the car. I just don't. This has a lot of yellow on it. You have to go back. I'll have to go back and like find her shirts because, like I said, she owned a ton of tie-dye shirts. Let's see. Let me just pull up her pictures real quick and see what I can find if I happen to have anything that stands out real quick. Well, we're eating teriyaki bowl, so I have to mix my teriyaki bowl anyway. There's one. See, not the same logo. I feel like there's one in Kelsey's car with a tie-dye shirt on also. Another one, not the one from that day, a different day. And there's that one. Can't see the logo on it, but it does. This one looks similar to that one. It's still not a full body, so you can't see the full shirt. I know I have one where you can see she's wearing the tie-dye shirt that you can actually see the strings that are coming off of it. I don't know where it is though. And then I have one that she has a tie-dye shirt and she's in Kelsey's car, but it's not that day. It's a different day. I can't find it quickly, but so I said she has quite a few. Okay. I know that husband loves you, even though sometimes he holds you up on lives, a new driver's license in the fam, more T freedom, but worries for a new driver. Hell yeah, that's a fact. I'm so fucking worried about that. Hey, I have Apophis. The Bolo said a tie-dye shirt with fringe on the bottom. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's that. It's definitely that one, but I don't know. So I'm curious about. Well, I mean, the Bolo also said she was wearing sweatpants. So I mean, what do we do with that, right? I mean, does it matter? Nothing is as it seems in reality of Delphi. All right, is Sleuthy still here? Sleuthy, where'd you go? I found it. I'll never give up. And just stream the interrogations, the confessions, the torture tapes, 2 hours a minute. DB does a map, time-changing years, no parking lot, then parking lot. I think I did that, no? But that's the other one. You want to come up, Sleuth? No, there's enough sauce. Thank you. All right, so that's enough, I think, for the exhibit stuff. Now you're falling asleep. Okay. Well, I was gonna tell him about my delivery I got in March. I thought maybe you'd want to come up for that. Andy's like, I'll come and talk about that. Okay, so this will probably be the cutoff point of talking about exhibits to talking about some bullshit. Let me get rid of some of this stuff though, so that my computer doesn't want to just slow down. Okay. I have about 40 minutes. I got a delivery. So I got a knock on the door. And then there was a gentleman outside that I did not recognize. And he asked for me by name. And I was like, who are you? He's like, who are you? What do you want? What do you want from me? And he was like, I'm looking for Teresa Stephens. I just need to give her something. I need to give her something. It's not a big deal. I just needed to talk to her. And I was like, what do you actually need? What do you actually need from me? I need to pull it up online though, and I don't have it up already. So you're gonna have to give me a second while I pull it up. So yeah, so you guys all know where I'm going with this. I gotta find the fucking website though. Now I can't find it. Hold on. I gotta type it in. I had it saved and now it's gone. So anyway, so I'm like, what are you actually like? What are you here for? Like, let's stop fucking around. Let's stop playing games. Like, just tell me what you're here for. And he didn't want to tell me. So I was like, are you trying to serve me right now? Are you actually trying to serve me? And so yes, so I was served. Now I'm gonna give you guys a minute to guess who served me. Well, the guy we don't know, but who initiated the serving. There we go. Why can I not get in here? Hold, please, while I try to figure out why I can't even get into the fucking website to show you. Sleuthy. Why can't I get in the website? Now I can see your guys' guesses. Yeah, so apparently, Sleuthy, I need your help, love. You can't go to sleep. I need your help. I can't get in the fucking website. So anyway, I get served. And I'm like, what the fuck is all this? So apparently, they served me with going to the copyright board and requested. So I wanted to just show it to you guys, but now I can't. So it says, Copyright Claims Board, please note that the claim includes supplemental materials that are not possible to send to you in paper form. All documents can be viewed on here, which I wanted to fucking show you, but now I can't. And so I get served, and it's based on the read-throughs of transcripts that we did back in January. You guys will recall our lovely read-throughs of transcripts so that we didn't have to listen to the bullshit. All right, I'll check DM. So I can't show you all the documents. It won't let me in there. No, it won't let me in there, Sleuthy. I'm unable to access that website. You want me to share my screen? Here you go. I can't get into that website. Yeah, that's what, can you come up? That's what I'm like, can you just come up and share the screen? I know you want to go to bed. 30 minutes, Sleuthy. Give me 30 minutes. Well, sure. Like, you can't. Yeah, I don't know. This is exactly it. The government blocked me. Probably that, Roxanne. A VPN on? Yeah, but I was able to get into it before, so it shouldn't even be an issue. I mean, I've been on it plenty of times, so it probably has to do with login attempts, but it shouldn't, because I literally just logged into it and it was fine. But anyway, no, it was Murder Sheet. So Murder Sheet decided to, back in January, they copyright struck the channel. you guys will recall I talked about this. We had done 4 episodes of read-throughs. We did the Holman interview from HTC, and then we did the Holman interview from Murder Sheet. We did, who else did we do? I think we did a Cecil. There was 3 of them. Actually, it's in my documentation. So they copyright struck the channel, and 1 copyright strike for 2 of those videos. So the 3rd one they never struck. I don't know why they didn't strike it. I have no idea. But they get lumped into 1. And I was like, you know, I was going to go in and document everything, because if you guys remember back in, what was it, the end of 2023, I used like, I think we ended up totaling it, it was like 47 seconds of their podcast when Sleuthy and I were live. And hi, Sleuthy, thank you. When Sleuthy and I were live, and they copyright struck that 3-hour stream while I was live and took it down. And so that was like, I think end of 2023. So I redid the video and took out that clip and just typed out what they said and put it back up. And I fought the copyright strike and won, because they had 10 days to either take me to copyright court or I won the whatever. I won the counterclaim. So that was just left at that. So that video is now up twice. It is what it is. So then we do these read-throughs, which we do not use them at all. We are using our own voices. We don't do anything with it. So are you ready to share or no? I guess I have to take mine down.
No, not yet.
Okay. We do these read-throughs. They copyright strike the channel. The 2 videos end up under 1 strike. It's just how YouTube does it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to fight this. And I'll go in and I got to pull up all the laws again and say, this is why everything is fair use. And then I was like, you know what? I don't really fucking care. It's like 90 days. We were like, I think we were in the midst of doing like major things with the case and like covering other shit. And I just didn't have the fucking time. So I ended up I was like, I don't really give a shit. Like I ended up just letting it go. And I was like, it is what it is. I'm not putting the videos back up anyway. So those 2 videos were taken down based on the copyright strike. And so I just removed the other 2 so that they couldn't come and strike it. Because if you get 3 copyright strikes, YouTube will remove your channel if you don't go back and win it. So anyway, that's back at the beginning of January that we did the videos. So I'll tell you what they are. So on it was Cicero and the juror. We did the juror, Cicero, and Holman. And they did each of theirs in 2. We did ours in 1. So here we go. So anyway, so I'm like, I call Sleuthy and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And so she pulls up the website and she's like, they've been trying to take you to this copyright board place since 2023. I was like, what are you talking about? We're in like 2025. And she's like, no, they filed a bunch of shit repeatedly to take you to this copyright board, but they're never in compliance. So the copyright board continues to deny them, which I didn't know any of this. This all just comes up last month, but I'm like, what the hell? So I removed those 4 videos on January, I think it was like the 16th or something like that. So those 4 videos were gone. So they copyright claimed them, and then they try to take me to this copyright board for those 3. They only have 3 of them, because so we're going to stick with the 3. The 4th one was HTC. She didn't do anything. She never complained. She never struck me. Never nothing. That's a Sleuthy thing. She definitely did that to her. But that's so we're just going to talk about these 3 videos that we did of murder sheets. So they try to file a claim, and the copyright board comes back and says, you can't actually file a claim against this person because they didn't do anything wrong. You don't.
No,
actually,
it does better stuff than that.
It does. We're going to get into it though. But
Okay.
It says essentially like they didn't do anything wrong, and you don't actually own the copyright to your transcript. So what does Murder Sheet go and do? They go and try to copyright their transcript.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple of issues with this whole thing. One, they're trying to copyright strike under Mystery Sheet, LLC. Well, Mystery Sheet is not Murder Sheet. Even though we know it to be, they're not registered that way. So Mystery Sheet owns nothing of what I did from Murder Sheet. So we pulled up all that legal documentation too. So that was number one. If you want to pull them, you can click on any of these you want. This is all public. If you guys want to go in here and look at this yourselves and you want to go through and read it, you're more than welcome. It's a public forum. Well, except for me, I'm not allowed to do that. I can't read it apparently.
Do you want to do like the original claim and then what they told them they had to do, and then the amended one where they went and got the copyright?
Yeah, let's just do kind of the short version. Or do you want to go to the very first one when we figured out they were trying to do it since 2023, or just this one?
Well, this isn't okay. This is the original one.
From
No.
2025.
I mean, this is the one from 2025. Like, this is the one that they tried to put in, and then they were like, whatever they said, where they said you don't have a copyright, like you have to own it. So then they went and got it, like paid to have it copywritten so that they could then come back and file the amended one. But the complaints are basically still the same. 3 separate YouTube live streams. Those all remain online as of this filing, which they knew wasn't true.
Right. So when they go and amend the claim in March, they say that I still have all of those videos up and I am gaining monetary value off of it, and that they make their living based on this case and how much money they make from this case, and that I'm taking away their money. So they want to take me to this copyright claims board and say that I need to pay them the amount of money that they lost out from you guys watching me read transcripts versus them.
Mm-hmm.
And the copyright board comes back and says, yeah, no, you can't do that because you don't actually own the copyrights. So then they file that they own the copyright. So they go to try to, they don't actually, at that point, they didn't actually own all of them. I think they'd gotten like 2 of the 3, if I remember correctly. They had gone to the copyright, like, and actually file for a copyright registration at the copyright office. Now, they went and filed this copyright ownership registration after all of my videos were already down.
So they put allegedly infringing activity. You state that your 6 allegedly infringed podcast episode sound recordings feature exclusive interviews, and you allege that the respondent live streamed, quote, reenactments of those episodes on YouTube by reading the transcripts with a guest verbatim. Your allegations do not present facts that indicate how the respondent used any exclusive rights you have in the allegedly infringed sound recordings. A sound recording copyright does not give the copyright owner an exclusive right to perform the work, including by reciting or acting it out. So basically, it wasn't just a matter of that they didn't own the copyright. It was all this too. So it's to bring a claim of copyright infringement of a sound recording, the allegedly infringing work must contain actual sounds recorded in the allegedly infringed sound recording. So because it says, while you allege that the respondent and a guest, that would be me, read the transcripts of our episodes word for word, you do not appear to contend that the respondent infringed any actual sounds fixed in your sound recordings.
Yeah, you don't own that shit. We
Like,
didn't use the sound.
We didn't play your thing. We read, like, if you copyright it or whatever the word would be. If you had a copyright on it, the copyright would be on your sound. And we didn't play your sound. So they said, of course, the Holman ones, they had a problem with.
Right.
Oh, then they said, January 17th. Yeah. 2025. It says that you finally live streamed a reenactment of both of our Cicero episodes. The entire live stream lasted 2 hours and 50 minutes. At 1 minute and 41 seconds, the reenactment began. Once again, me and you proceeded to read the transcript of our entire episode word for word with zero added value or additional commentary. This was simply a verbatim reading of our work. They did not pick out any quotes of interest, nor did they paraphrase. They
Which
just
is
read
actually absolutely inaccurate, because if you add the time of both of the podcasts together and you go and listen to it without any ads on their actual podcast, both episodes together, I think when we did the math, one was like 40 some minutes and whatever else. Our lives are 3 to 4 hours a piece.
Well, same with the other lady when we did the pig roast. The interview was like an hour and a half, and the review we did of it was like 4 hours. So there's got to be commentary. And it says the description of harm suffered is, we would like the infringing materials removed from the internet. We would also like monetary damages. Our podcast is our livelihood. We seek our exclusive interviews and then earn revenue when our audience listens to our advertisements from sponsors. By infringing our copyright, you damage their business. She is providing listeners with an alternate place to consume our work, and she is doing so without our permission. You have a history of willfully infringing our copyright. We ask for statutory damages.
I have a history of this.
Yeah.
Because I played 40 some seconds of their podcast over a year prior.
You do know this was dismissed, right?
No, I don't know that.
Okay, so as of March 31st.
Well, I opted out. Okay, so I got to tell them that part. I haven't got there yet, but I don't know anything about dismissed.
Yeah, it just says that they dismissed it without prejudice. It says a claim that is dismissed by the board without prejudice following the submission of an opt-out notice may then be filed in federal court. However, if the claimant attempts to refile a claim with the board against the same respondent, covering in substance the same acts and the same theories of recovery as in this proceeding, the board will again dismiss the claim unless the claimant can demonstrate that the respondent affirms. So basically, they cannot file again here in this.
No, I knew that
thing.
once I opted out.
Right. But they can't file a new one. So if you do a thing right now, they can't file it with these people. They'd have to go to federal court, and that would have to be in your jurisdiction. So they'd have to come to where you are.
Right. So essentially, I was given two options with this. One is to go in front of this copyright board and let the copyright board decide whether I did something right or did something wrong, which when I looked up everything and everybody that I did talk to on the legal side of things, all stated they didn't even own they didn't own the copyright until after the live. So the original assessment from the copyright board telling them they didn't own what I did would have been what would have stuck, because they didn't copyright anything of their own work until after.
I'll tell you exactly when. It was so Holman part 1, part 2, the juror part 1, and juror part 2, all of them were not they didn't get a copyright. It says, has the work been registered by the Copyright Office? And they put yes, and the effective date is 1/18/2025. And
which is after everything was already even removed from the channel.
Correct.
But their proof that I still had it up was their downloaded videos of me reading their transcripts. That was their proof that I still had it up. Like, look, you can click on this link and you can see that she still has it up, even though that's not true. That was just a downloaded video of my video, because they were already gone. They weren't even on YouTube.
I was going to say, meanwhile, literally nobody else could look at them, including like you, like when they took mine out, not them, but when the other lady took mine down, like I couldn't even go see my video because I don't save them. Like I don't put them in StreamYard. So I couldn't even look. I agree with Jamie. If they put half this much, well, I was going to say if they put half this much effort into like actually reporting things that are meaningful and in a professional way, they might be halfway decent. But she said if they put it in a personal hygiene, I agree with that too.
I agree with that. So I had that was my one option, was that I could go represent myself. I could go have an attorney represent me in front of this copyright board, and that they would be able to, do the whole thing, whatever. My other option was to opt out. And if you don't opt out, then you're automatically opted in. So my other option was to opt out and say, fuck you. If you really want to come for me, then take me to federal court. I'm not going to sit down and try to work anything out with you over this at some copyright board. You can take me to federal court and I'll fight you there and show that you're lying in your documentation and that you're literally only doing it for money, because they say in here that I'm taking money away from them by reading the transcript. There's two things that happen here. People either listened to the live where we read the transcript because they refuse to listen to Murder Sheet because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. And so they won't get a review from that person anyway. Or they listened to Murder Sheet and still came here for the fucking fun of it. So they're actually taking money from me. It's not very much. Let me tell you, I think those 3 lives combined made like $40. So I'm like, if they really, really want to try to take $40, but ultimately what they would try to do is say, well, we lost, if you got like 4,000 views, we lost 4,000 views. So you owe us what our channel would make on all the, on all the ad revenue. So you owe us what our channel would lose. They did not do anything to Lawyer whatsoever. So can you pull that back up by chance so we can go back to the first one? And then we're gonna.
Well, I'm looking for the first one, and
it's not there anymore.
That one I can't find. Like, I don't know. Does it fall off after a certain period of time?
I have no idea. Yeah, so that me finding out about this leads Sleuthy into doing sleuthy things, and so she's like, they actually tried to do this when you played.
I think
for 40 seconds in 2023.
I think I did find it. Hold on. Is this you?
They'd probably try to copyright fucking.
It is you. The leak.
Yeah, drip. It's like drip by drip or something like. No, what is it? It's the something like that. They had a process server come and serve me.
How do I gotta add myself back? Okay. So
I want to say something really nice about this process server though, because in here it goes into the documentation. They have to put in like who they served. I never told them I was actually Teresa Steffens, but I took the paperwork, and he says like how skinny I was and like like how much I weigh and like my hair color, and I'm like, that's not even me. Who he put in here that he served is not even me.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. You can opt out, Joanna, because it's voluntary. Like the way to handle this is you're supposed to go to federal court to handle this, like in the jurisdiction of the person that you're suing. So, but they have this alternative so that if you don't want to do that or spend the money to do that, then you can file through here, which is cheaper. And it's basically just decided by people like Kevin, like copyright claims people.
Like Kevin.
Other plebans. So this is the other one. This is the first one that they tried that you didn't know nothing about.
This is what she found later. We didn't even know this existed.
So the infringement date was December 19th, 2023. And the video was the Delphi Murders, drip by drip. The leak unveils a puddle as spinsters weave a web of tales. They said that you discussed an episode of their podcast, The Leak, at length. Through much of the live video, the host had a transcript of our episode prominently displayed. We feel that violates fair use.
Never had a transcript. Never had a transcript of that episode.
Look, they're liars. Well, I guess they're not liars. The video was removed by YouTube. You didn't ask them to remove it?
No, they did. They copyright struck me. I counterclaimed and won. That's the one I had to redo and then put it back up. And then I won the thing. And so it's up twice now. But I had no transcript. I literally played like 40 some seconds of their video or their audio.
Instead,
so that'd be a lie.
Oh, yes. I remember that. They could
the illicit transcript, you guys.
Yeah, your illicit transcript. See, they just say it was removed by YouTube, but Criminality has inexplicably contested the removal, so we no longer have access to images or videos from the original.
And I kindly wrote them an email.
Illicit transcript.
Would you like me to read you the email that I wrote them?
What a bunch of fucking losers.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember what happened here. Let's see. That was dismissed February 12th, 2024.
Because they didn't do it right and I didn't do anything wrong.
That's not it. Right here. What was this one? Is this basically the same thing? They didn't register the copyright. Same thing about the sound recording. Because your work was neither registered nor subject. Oh, you can't see what I'm sharing. There you go.
Mm-mm.
The board cannot hear this claim because a deposit copy of the work was not delivered to the Copyright Office before the claim was filed. Because your work was neither registered nor subject to a complete pending application at this time, this claim cannot be successfully amended and cannot proceed. Instead, you need to refile. So they didn't. And then a whole ass year goes by. Teresa put that video back up and then they tried again on the new videos.
So this is the email after the 20. So I sent this email on December 20th of 2023. I am not sure who so to whom it may concern. I'm not sure who checks your email to address the person directly. I wanted to reach out per the recommendation of the YouTube copyright policies in hopes we can work together. To work this out. Someone on your team submitted a copyright strike regarding a live video from December 19th, 2023. I don't know if the person receiving and viewing this email is the person who submitted the copyright claim, so I hope this email is sufficient communication. I am not sure the impression you got about the live stream being as the copyright was claimed as the entire 3+ hour live, and the content that was shared was 3 seconds, 49 seconds, and 32 seconds, totaling a minute and 24 seconds total. So
what about the illicit transcript?
I wrote, and there's no illicit transcript. So I wrote, here's 3 seconds played from like 1 hour, 18 minutes and 10 seconds to 1 hour, 18 minutes and 13 seconds. I go through and I list all of those. So then I go, copyright exceptions in the United States, works of commentary, criticism, research, teaching, or news reporting may be considered fair use. Following also under the factor that the amount and substantiality of the portion used relative to the whole copyrighted work. I am hoping by reaching out, you will consider removing the copyright strike per fair use, and the fact that the total of 1 minute and 24 seconds was played during an over 3-hour live stream, creating conversation and commentary around a much debated topic, that the words, tone and tenor, and context was important for listeners to make their own decisions on the topic. The copyright claim was for an entire video, and that simply was not the case here. It was an incredibly small portion of the entire live. Also, the listeners were given a link to your podcast and the particular episode we were discussing. I appreciate your time reading this and for your consideration on the removal of the copyright strike. Teresa from Criminality.
You're way kinder than me. Oh, you're not done yet? Oh my God.
No.
They're
So no,
viewing here somewhere?
No, that was it. So I said, in turn, I send this to them. They do not remove the copyright strike. They don't even bother to reply to my email. And they file with the Copyright Claims Board, which I don't even find out until 2025 that they did. Trying to insinuate that I somehow stole all of their content to gain all of this money. Yes, Kevin signed some of the beginning documents, and then Anya is signing the ones later on. So Kevin was, she goes back in there, or if you guys want to go in yourselves, the website, like I said, it's public. You can go read all of it.
I think he did. Like, it shows that his representation, or it shows that in 2025, who represents both Onion and Mystery Sheet is Kevin. So he's there filed under as her representation. And Travis said that he would.
I'm looking for Travis's question. I don't see it.
He said, I will give you all the ethical rules they would be in violation of for your bar complaint if you wanted to do that.
I just, here's the thing is I just don't care that much. I just don't want to do it. This is what I told Sleuthy, because I'm like, I don't care about that. People like stream my stuff. They use my stuff with really bad commentary sometimes. But how am I going to spend my time? How much of their fucking life did they spend submitting these
Exactly.
and then having to resubmit these because they got them wrong, and then having to go file copyrights with the copyright registration, and then God.
Like, I get what you're saying, and I feel like, so that's exactly the reason why I didn't bother responding to what's her faces, because I'm just like, ma'am, like I don't have the time. Everybody that was gonna watch that video was already in it anyway, was in the live.
Well, that's kind of how I ended up. Like at the end of the last one, I was like, I don't even fucking. Why do I? Is it going to make them stop? What is it going to make them stop?
No, but if you did file a bar complaint, like somebody needs to teach these motherfucking ogres a lesson. Like for real, they do this stuff because they think no one's ever going to say or do anything. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, I care, but I'm just saying, like, do I care enough to spend? Like, I have very minimal amount of my life I can really spend on like YouTube stuff. So I mean, it's something I don't care that they did it. Obviously, it was a fucking headache to have to read all through it, figure out what the fuck was going on, talk to copyright attorneys, talk to people like Sleuthy and Andy about like what is this even about? When I know that fair use wise, when it comes to just YouTube, there's nothing illegal about what I did.
She struck me, and I don't even monetize. Like I've been eligible for monetization for years on my YouTube.
Right.
Like within a week of having it. And so I didn't even make any money off of those. And she's still like, I thought you couldn't even do that, to be honest. I thought like the copyright thing was more or less like if you are monetized and you're making money on the video. Because I checked with Glare, who knows that people that hate him and despise him, he's always reviewing their shit, and they try to take his shit down all the time. And it's always fair use. And so I said to him, is this going to get taken down or whatever? And he's like, as long as you do A, B, and C, you're going to be fine. And then I said, I said, I'm not even monetizing. He's like, then you definitely should be fine. You're not making any money off of their stuff. But they did it anyway. I didn't have the time to write up a fucking memo to explain why she was wrong. I shouldn't have to. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. I mean, I should do it because this is just it's absurd. This is literally if you ever take the time in your life to ever go back and watch my lives on anything to do with Delphi, I never had a negative thing to say about these two fucktards ever. Until they took down that video mid-live and then tried to copyright strike it with 106 pounds with a tattoo. What? Tried to copyright strike it, saying I used their entire content, my entire video, and they just were fucking liars. And then from that point on, then they start doing all this other trash media around people that I was starting to like get to know, and I'm like, who the fuck are these idiots? Like, I never had any issues with them. I didn't know anything about them. And all because I played, what did I say totaled? 1 minute. I didn't do the math correctly, apparently, on when I said 40-some seconds earlier. I was thinking about one of the clips. But it's 1 minute and 24 seconds total of a over 3-hour freaking live. And then to come to find out now, over a year later, that they have been working behind the scenes to try to copyright strike my channel and get money from me because they fear that they're losing money based on this channel? Give me a fucking break. That is a controlling of a narrative that they cannot control when it comes to somebody like me.
Well, I think that they use it because Lana was like, how did they find your address? I think people use copyright strikes as like a sword because they think that people generally want to maintain their anonymity. And when you file a counter strike or whatever it is on YouTube, you have to provide your home address and your real name. And so they just figure people are going to be like, I don't want to give any of that. I don't want to give them. I wouldn't want to give them any of that information because they're insane.
How do you think they got my address to serve me?
Exactly.
Because I counterclaimed the copyright strike back in 2023.
But the problem with that is with YouTube requiring that is that people are stalkers and crazy people. So
these two fucking people are crazy.
They are.
So I don't know. I just think people, the reason I'm sharing this, number one, is because I always want to keep you guys in the loop on what's going on with me anyway. But number two is because, and she didn't get to read this part, but I have to end it because I got to go get Kaylee from gymnastics. But if you guys, like I said, these are public documents. You can go on there and read them all yourself. Go on there and read about the amount of money that they think that they're losing out and how much they depend on the money from the Delphi case to pay for that lifestyle, and how many people are listening to them and paying for them to treat people the way that they do on that podcast. Like if you're on the fence about people that are good and people that are bad and people that are only in covering Delphi for money, like think about that for a hot second. My channel probably made $40 off of 3 videos, and those guys are pissed about it. Like, just think about that for a second. So what's the website? It's
just type in, oh wait,
it's dockets.ccb.gov.
yeah, or type in copyright claims board. There's only one, and then case
you can go see all the documents that they've filed against me over the apparently years that I didn't know they were coming at me behind the scenes. Can't respond to my fucking email that I sent them that I read to you guys and was really nice because I really didn't have an issue with them. I was just playing it because we were talking about the fucking leaks. So, I mean, so now for obviously we're going into this May of 2025, a year and a half. I don't know how much money did they think I made? I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Hi, Yellow. But so like I said, I wanted to share it with you guys. I just like I'm on the side of Richard Allen is innocent because I make so much money off of being on that side. Like how stupid that sounds. When you see things in a big picture, that you have a podcast of 2 people who are being asked to come on court TV and whatever else to spread their stupid narrative about what happened in this trial and what happened in this case. They're not trying to take me down because of money. You guys see that, right? So, okay, Sleuthy, I got to go anyway. Thank you for coming up. I know you were going to bed, but I couldn't get into the website. So if you guys find anything new on there, let me know, because apparently I'm blocked from the fucking website. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, thank you, Sleuthy. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll probably go back sometime later tonight and like timestamp it. So anybody who doesn't want to listen to the drama later on, my real life drama, they don't have to. But I think I'll get an ice cream. Me too. I think I'll get an ice cream. But like I said, you guys are welcome to go look. And it's also something that's quite interesting because you never know who else that they've been actually going after for however many years that they don't fucking know it either. So, because I didn't find that out till 2025 when some random ass dude showed up on my doorstep looking for me. But it is what it is. You guys are my favorite people. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. As always, I know that you have 1,000 other places you could spend your time, and yet you choose to spend your time here with me. And I appreciate you guys so very much. There's not enough words to tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here. Even if you don't agree with me, I don't care as long as you're not a dick. So go enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you guys in the morning for day 3 of Karen Reed. Have a good one.
Do you dare to fall